In the Constitution, the Second Amendment states that a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
The gun shown on top is how guns were when the Second Amendment was first made, compared to the gun on the bottom, which is how guns are in society today.
So as far as the question to whether the Second Amendment should be modified considering new technologies, I think the answer to that is no. I believe that, as far as the founding fathers were concerned, they were talking about, weapons, how those, existed then versus how they exist now. I believe if you look at the forethought they had to, craft the Constitution and Declaration of Independence and all that, these guys knew that there were, going to be more advanced things in the future, obviously, but they just talked about the concept that, we should be allowed and it be a right that we were able to, possess and carry and own and sell and trade, firearms. They're important to the defense of yourself as a person, of your home.
I think that we should reserve our right to bear arms because it's in the amendment and we shouldn't be having that taken away from us, but I do think that codes and stuff should be applied to that amendment so that people have to go through background checks and that their mental health is then checked before they're able to purchase a firearm. In Indiana, if you are 18 years or older, you can get a license to carry a gun.
Otis McDonald was not allowed to own a handgun in Chicago due to the strict laws that the local government set in place. At the time, the 14th Amendment, which selectively incorporates the amendments to all 50 states, was not incorporated when it came to the Second Amendment. This allowed Chicago to have its own gun laws, and at the time they had a strict ban on any gun in Chicago. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of Otis, and the Supreme Court stated that local and state government cannot alter the Second Amendment in any way. So today, the Second Amendment is selectively incorporated into all 50 states. So everything is decided by the federal government when it comes to the Second Amendment.
I knew then that something had to be done. And even though I knew I was going to be denied, it was still devastating to live where I live and be surrounded by what I was surrounded by and seeing every day on the news what's happening to elderly people my age, and to go down there and then they say, no, you can't have a handgun.
There are strongly held views on the Second Amendment, and I'm one of the senators who has strongly held views on the Second Amendment. I'm a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. But I'm also convinced there is common ground among people who have different views on the Second Amendment. In this session that we are wrapping up of this Congress, we overwhelmingly enacted legislation to improve NICS, the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, which is used to prevent the sale of firearms to people who should not have firearms. Now, think about that. We all agree that firearms should not be sold to criminals and the dangerously mentally ill. I have never heard any colleague in this body suggest that firearms should be sold to violent criminals or dangerously mentally ill people. No.